Welcome back, grade 9 science students. Today we're going to discuss the first lesson of quarter 3 about Earth and space, and specifically it talks about module 1, volcano. This video will cover the entire lesson of module 1 about volcano in quarter 3. Okay, so what is volcano? Volcano is simply the opening of the Earth's surface. Then it contains molten rocks. Here, this is the molten rocks, magma. Then we have also hot gases like water vapor, carbon dioxide, and many more. Also, volcano contains smoke, ashes when it erupts. Okay, but the main contents of volcano are this one, molten rocks. Okay, we have also the parts of volcano. We have here the summit, the uppermost part. Then we have the slope, the body of the volcano, the shape like a cone, and also the base, the ground part of the volcano. Then we have also the two kinds of volcano opening. This is the crater and this is the caldera. The two types of openings of volcano. Now, crater is a funnel-shaped opening at the top of the volcano. In this volcano, the crater can be found in here. And then you have also caldera. Caldera is formed when a part of the wall of the volcano collapses. Okay, when that volcano, part of it will collapse, it will become a caldera. For example, like this picture. When volcano will erupt, then it erupts in a very explosive way. Suddenly, it collapses. Now, the collapsed portion is known as caldera. This one. It fills with water, so this is the caldera. Okay. Then we have also the classification of volcanoes according to the record of eruption. We have two kinds of volcano according to eruption. We have active and inactive volcano. The first is active volcano, are those that have a record of eruption within the last 600 years. So if that volcano has a record of eruption, meaning to say it is an active volcano. The opposite one here is the inactive volcano, when it has no record of eruption. No, not erupted for the last 10,000 years. Okay, here's the list of the active and inactive volcanoes in the Philippines. Then we can identify whether it is active or inactive according to the number of historical eruptions. Okay, first we have Kabaluyan, number of eruptions 0, so it is inactive. We have also Canlaon, number of eruptions 26, meaning to say it is an active. We have also Mayon, has a record of 49 eruptions, so that is a very active one. We have here the Pulong, 0 record of eruption, inactive. Okay, you can check the rest of the list so that you can identify whether it is an active or active. Okay, we have also classification of volcanoes according to shape of cones. There are volcanoes that shape like this, or this one, or even this one. Okay, the first one is the shield volcano. It resembles the warrior's shield. This one, it is like a warrior's shield because when a certain magma flows out of the volcano, this magma will travel at a long distance. Why? Because it is non-viscous or non-viscous. Then this lava flows will eventually harden and shape like a shield. Okay. The second one is the cinder volcano. It is quite a bit taller compared to shield volcano, but the cone is quite smaller. Okay. This is an example of a cinder volcano. Layers of volcanic fragments are obvious. Okay. Next, we have here the composite volcano or the perfect cone volcano, just like Mount Mayun. It is also called a stratovolcanoes. Okay, so these are the three kinds of volcanic cones: composite, shield, and cinder. Next, we have also here the types of volcanic eruption. We have here phreatic, hydrothermal, phreatomagmatic, strombolian, volcanian, and plinian. Of course, the first one that we're to study is the phreatic or hydrothermal eruption. When a volcano erupts like this way, it spews steams, rocks, and ashes, just like what had happened last January 2020 when Taal volcano erupted. It spews a large amount of smoke that contains ashes and rocks. That's a kind of phreatic eruption here. Then the indicators of phreatic eruption is this: there is no contact between magma and water. Of course, if you try to check this picture here, you will notice that this is the magma chamber, the magma, and this is the ground, water. The two are not in contact with each other. If that is the case, then this is a phreatic kind of eruption. Then another indicator is no magmatic material in the eruption cloud here. you cannot see any magmatic materials in the eruption cloud of smoke. Okay, next one is the phreatomagmatic. It is a violent eruption due to water and magma in contact with each other. So unlike phreatomagmatic, magma and water are not in contact with each other. But when we say in phreatomagmatic, water and magma is already in contact with each other, and it spews lava, ash, rocks, crystals, and steam. So a lot different compared to phreatic. It is more violent. Then one of the indicators is that it pulverizes magma into ashes because magma and water is already in contact with each other. But the best indicator is that you can see here that magma and groundwater are already in contact with each other. Okay. Now, when Taal volcano erupted last January 2020, it also erupted in a phreatomagmatic way. Then the smoke is very obvious here, just like in this picture. Ashes and smoke are very clear. No, aside from that, the smoke reaches up to 10 to 15 kilometers. Very tall smoke. No? Combination of smoke and ashes. Okay. Next, we have the Strombolian eruption. Periodic quick to violent reaction, or sometimes it is called as magmatic eruption because, as we can see in the picture, magma is already flowing out of the volcano, just like this one. Magma is already flowing out. Magma already comes out from the volcano, just like in the picture. Okay, now, in phreatomagmatic, groundwater and magma is in contact with each other, but in Strombolian, magma being not just in contact with the volcano, with the water, but it will already comes out from the volcano, just like pyroclastic materials here, no? Just like in this picture here, as you can see, magma is already flowing out from the volcano. Then best indicators are this lava fountain. Of course, lava will comes out when it is called magma when it is inside the volcano, but when it flows out from the volcano, it is already called lava. Okay, lava flow and lava bump are the indicators of Strombolian eruption. Now let's proceed to the fourth one. We have Volcanian eruption, quite stronger than the preceding three because it will reach up to 20 kilometers high, a very strong one, just like in this picture here, 20 kilometers high, with pyroclastics, no, lava flow, magma, and rocks, ash falls, and many more. So this is quite stronger compared to the three, and if this happens, many would die. Okay, just like in this picture here, more lava are coming out from the volcano. Then aside from that, the smoke and molten rocks are very tall compared to phreatomagmatic. Then last but not least, we have here the Plinian eruption, the strongest among the 5 kinds of eruptions, exclusively exclusive here. Now, it reaches up to many kilometers above the volcano. The smoke is very tall. Now, if you want to see a picture here, this picture is a little bit exaggerated, but I think this will fit for the stronger Plinian eruption compared to 5. Yes, right? The picture shows the very large explosive event of Plinian eruption. In this one, you can see a very huge smoke above the volcano. The Plinian eruption is very strong, okay? But here, we are also about to study the nature of eruption. Why does volcano erupt? And that question is answered by because of viscosity, because of the viscosity of magma. And viscosity of magma is determined by these 3 factors. Here, we have the temperature of magma, silica content, and amount of gas. These 3 factors determines the viscosity of magma. What do you mean by viscosity? Just like this honey in the picture. Honey is more viscous than water because water will flows immediately, but honey will not flow immediately. No? It is viscous compared to water. Viscosity is the property of material's resistance to flow. It characterizes thickness and stickiness. Okay, the more viscous the material, the greater it is resistance to flow. Just like in this experiment here, you can see that there are 5 different kinds of liquid, and first, second, and third liquid are more viscous compared to fourth and fifth one because, as you can see, first, second, and third liquids are still flowing, no? But the fourth one and the fifth one is not or are not flowing. You know to say they are already or they are so viscous compared to the 3. Then in this part here, you can see that lava is viscous than water. That is viscosity. Now, why is it that volcano will erupt? Now, it depends upon the factors, and one of the factors is the high viscosity of magma, because high viscosity of magma is determined by these 3 factors here. We have the temperature of magma, the silica content, and the amount of gas. Okay, first we're going to study low temperature of magma. First, if this is our volcano, the second one is the high silica content. So again, as magma moves upward, it will become more viscous. Its temperature decreases and it will become more viscous. Now, high silica content also determines the viscosity of material. High silica content means more viscosity. Low silica content means low viscosity. Now this picture will tell us about silica content. When a magma has less silica content, it will travel at a great distance before it will becomes hard, right? Before it hardens, it travels in a very great distance because it has less silica content, and therefore it is low in viscosity or has low viscosity. Now, the second picture tells us that if a lava or a magma has high silica content, it will not travel at a great distance. Okay, so that is how you determine the high silica content of or low silica content of magma. Less silica content means low viscosity. High silica content means high viscosity. Okay. Now the third one here is low amount of gas. Here, best example of gas here is water vapor. So if a magma has a very low content of amount of gas, it is more viscous. Okay. So let's get back to our illustration. When magma moves upward towards the volcano opening, it will become it has high viscosity along with low temperature of it, high silica content of it, and low amount of gas. Now, magma that is moving upward becomes more viscous. And here, to say in this portion, magma has a high viscosity. Now, when magma here below continuously pushes the magma that is upward, that is in upward part, this magma here cannot hold anymore if there is still continuous supply of magma coming from below. So if this magma here, viscous magma here, cannot hold anymore, it will suddenly moves out from the volcano, known as volcanic eruption. Okay, known as volcanic eruption because magma here cannot hold anymore the other supplies of magma below, so it will moves out in an eruptive way. Okay, so again, another topic is energy from volcano. We call it as geothermal energy, the benefit of the heat from the Earth's interior. So geothermal energy is produced from geothermal power plants and heat pumps. Here, this is our diagram for geothermal power plant, the power plant that produces electricity coming from the heat of the Earth's interior. So in this diagram, you can see that here, hot water is pumped upward. Then the sudden change in temperature will produce steam. This is the steam. So the steam, this is the steam that is under pressure. So the steam under pressure will rotate the turbine, which is this one. And the turbine that is connected to a generator will rotate the generator and eventually produces electricity. Okay, as simple as that. Again, hot water is pumped upward and produces steam that will turn the turbine and the generator that produces electricity. Now, hot water is cooled back when it condenses and it will pump back towards the ground. Okay, notice in the arrow that the red arrow here indicates hot water and the blue arrow here moving downward indicates cold water. Okay, if you want to study it in detail, you can just read these 5 steps. Okay, now let's proceed to the positive and negative effect of volcanic eruption. Of course, the negative effect is the loss of lives. These people did not evacuate immediately and therefore they die. But the positive effect is that it cools the earth or produce rich soil. This is the rich loamy soil coming from the volcanic eruption. Okay, we have here also the signs of impending volcanic eruption. So you should take notice of the signs, so you will have the signal to evacuate or not to evacuate. Depends on this signs here. The first one is this: it increased the frequency of volcanic quakes. So if the volcanic quakes increase in frequency, if there are more volcanic quakes than before, so evacuate immediately or just prepare. The second one is increased steaming activity. Here, this is an example of steam. If steam increase in amount for its activity, so you better get out immediately. Then the third one here, we have the crater glow due to presence of magma. Then ground swells due to magma intrusions. Okay, so what do you mean by swellings? Just like this one, no? ground swells. If you notice swelling of grounds, then I think that will be the sign of impending eruption. Then of course there are rock falls and landslide, even though it's not caused by heavy rains in summit area. Then we have also drying up of vegetation around the volcano's upper slope. So if many plants will die around the slopes of the volcano, then prepare. Okay. Next, number 7, increase the temperature of hot springs and wells. If you notice that water has increased its temperature, so you better get out. Next, we have also here the variation of chemical contents of hot springs. Next, we have drying up of wells around the volcano. So if hot springs and wells comes out of water already, so I think that will be enough to evacuate. And then the last one here, we have development of new thermal areas like this one. If you see that there are new thermal areas or solfataras that exist and contains steams or smoke, then you better prepare or evacuate. Okay, so I hope you learn from our video today. Please watch this over and over again so you can understand. If you like this video, please subscribe and support the video. Okay, thank you so much and have a nice day.